How we doing, man? There's no rest for the wicked out here, kids. I can promise you that much. On a Roby Tuesday. You like that? I'll do it again if I have to. Creative Tony, first thing out of the gate, let me launch a formal complaint just to get the right tone set for the show. Let me start out by complaining. What made complaint / observation? Now, y'all see that it is what we like to call a Roby Tuesday, yet I see my friend is in a T-shirt. I'm very confused. I don't know how to handle this. Tony, what's going on?
There was confusion.
There was confusion. Yeah. Jason Kidd. There was confusion.
Poncho right behind me. I'm just going to wait till we get through the nuts and bolts of the program, and I'll throw it on, Paulie.
I understand. At your leisure. Although, keep in mind today, we are on a deadline tight clock because we have to get out at 1:15. We have meetings with the powers that be that are going to credential our asses for the Radio Row experience.
Powers that be, by the way.
You know what? I've always been at odds with the powers that be. And so have you, dude. Yeah. So have you. The both of us. The powers that be, let me tell you something right now. They don't like guys like us.
My angst against the powers that be has got me in a lot of trouble. It's just gotten me in a lot of trouble.
Well,
I refuse to comply, man. It's one of my strengths / weaknesses.
I refuse to comply. That's a good punk rock lyric right there. I refuse to comply. Like, I just feel like we could write that punk song right now. I refuse to comply.
Dude, are we going to write a blues song or a punk song about the substation? Which one do you want to do?
I like Substation Blues. I hear that as a blues jam, like kind of blues dirge, because it's giving me the blues. I mean, guys getting hurt all over the place. Anyway,
Tony, I have an instrumental song, an old blues instrumental that my old band used to play with Bob Marcucci. We should just ask Bob if it's okay if we use that music and then write lyrics on top of it. It's a great blues jam. We used to play it all the time as our band, almost as like a warm-up guy. Speaking
of the aforementioned legendary drummer that is Bob Marcucci, he dominates the North Bay with his percussion style, and he really does. The guy's a great player. He will be my drummer on 320 at the Brisbane Inn. Please do come on down. I probably haven't been promoting this enough. I know we got plenty of time. We're like 2 months away, but calendars get filled up. I'm trying to get you guys to reserve the night. Come on out. We can do like a PMP kind of party night while we play music. We're going to do one set Bob Weir tribute. Then we're going to do another like grab bag set where we just play all kinds of stuff. So we'd love to see you out there. Come on out for that. Okay. So anyway, we got to go at 1:15. It's going to be a tight show today. We got to keep it sharp. We got to keep it on the clock. Tony, go ahead.
Good day, everyone.
I want to direct that especially to Pine Needle, dude. Pine Needle just said in the chat he's sitting in urgent care listening to PMP. And then he said he ripped his toenail off and all the skin with the other two toes. This is going to be brutal. Pine Needle, dude.
I'm sorry to hear that, Pine. I'm sorry, brother. I'm afraid to ask how that even happens. How does one rip a toenail? That sounds, oh God, I don't even like thinking about that, man.
Sorry. I hope you feel better, man. And just hopefully PMP provides you a nice distraction from it all.
I got a good one for you, Pine Needle. Let me offer up a real-life toe injury story to distract you and maybe make you realize you're getting away pretty good, actually. Losing a toenail is not as bad as what I'm about to tell you. Rags, one of our buddies from Jersey. This is I love this guy with all my heart. His name is Teddy Hoff. Nice. Tony, last name Hoff. Hoff. Not the kind of guy you want to mess around with, by the way. I mean, this guy, he's just born to throw hands and has. Anyway, years ago, he was moving I wasn't involved in this, but I know the story. Rags, I don't know if you probably know this too. Teddy Hoff, my buddy from Jersey, was moving a dresser, like a very, very heavy dresser. That's the kind of stuff Teddy Hoff does. He'll just pick up heavy objects, move them, stuff like that. He's a He-Man. And he picks up this huge dresser, and it's got to weigh several hundred pounds. My buddy, he drops the dresser, lands on his freaking foot, and actually took the tip of his toe right off when the dresser landed. So I'm just saying, So Pine Needle, you're getting away pretty good, actually. At least you didn't lose half your toe the way my buddy did. So, but I wish you well, and I hope we can help you get a couple laughs in today, brother. Hang in there.
Paulie, I can relate to Teddy Hoff. I almost chopped off my entire this finger right here.
At the Italian heritage thing, right?
Oh, no, that was a different time. That was this finger.
Tony's got a lot of blade injuries. You're not good with knives, dude.
Yeah, dude. This was working a slicer in the deli in Tahoe, man. You know? So that was not good. And then the other one was, yeah. Anyway,
I'm
so
not sure yeah. By the way, did you ever see that movie with Mickey Rourke called The Wrestler?
oh yeah,
Do you remember that scene in The Wrestler when Mickey Rourke, he's like this, down on his luck wrestler, and he's got a side gig where he's working as a butcher at a grocery store.
Yep.
And he gets into an argument with some lady, and next thing you know, he intentionally cuts his own hand. And there's blood spurting all over the place. He's just it was nuts. Anyway, I'm a baby. I'm a sissy when it comes to knives, Tony. Don't get into a knife fight with me because I'll run.
Anything involving my fingers or toes, dude, I'm done. I'm done. I'm done. I've always said I'd much rather take like a freaking sword down my chest, like a cut.
What are we talking about today? Go ahead.
I would rather get like knifed down my chest than have anything happen to my fingers or toes.
Well, let me tell you what about that. Maybe not so fast on that, because if you go back, more film references coming up here, and we will get to the Super Bowl. We do have Paul Tonelli joining us today. Tony, I'm going to take you back to the movie Rambo with Sylvester Stallone. There's a scene in Rambo where they got him like tied up like this. Yeah. And some dude just comes over and just slices his entire torso. You're telling me you're signing up for that?
I think so, man, because the sensations and the feeling of I just can't. And I think it's because I've had too many finger injuries. And I see Andrew Markoulis from Long Ridge Pizza checking in. He says, "Going to make Tony wear metal mesh gloves slicing pizza on Friday."
I like that. Yeah, I like that.
I'm working with Neil, but Paulie, dude, we got to do numerology. We got to talk Robert Kraft. We got to talk.
Yeah, I know.
NBA trade deadline Thursday. We got to talk Draymond. I also want to do some bookmarks. We got to talk Rise of the 49ers, Super Bowl 60, and Paul Tonelli joining us at the bottom of the hour. Okay, so that's kind of a roadmap. I'm big on roadmaps. Shout out Thomas Guide. I wish Thomas Guides were still around, man. Open the glove box, pull out the Thomas Guide, and let's go.
Shout out Bruce Springsteen on the Nebraska record. Great track called Open All Night. He's got a lyric in there where he's talking about he's driving to go see his girlfriend late at night. And he says, "I'm wiping my fingers on the Texaco road map," because he's eating chicken in the car. Dude. He goes, "We're eating fried chicken and wiping our fingers on the Texaco road map." Shout out Bruce. Yeah.
Bruce for life. Bruce for freaking life, dude. Yeah. That's all I got to say. And those of you that know what Bruce has done recently, just tip of the cap, Bruce. Just keep doing what you're doing, buddy. Yeah.
And by the way, speaking of maps and road maps, and you know who's a big map enthusiast? Our very good friend Rod Brooks. When you watch Quality Hang, he's got maps all over the place behind like Lake Tahoe ski maps and all kinds of stuff like that. But anyway,
when I used to snowboard, I still snowboard with Rod, but with like you still carry those maps every now and again. But when I first started snowboarding with Rod, he was all about bringing those maps on the chairlifts and then like open them up and be like, "We're going there next, and after that, we're gonna meet here, and then we're gonna go there." And I was like, "Dude, done." And then I'm like, "Well, how about this?" Because I knew a couple of mountains really well. And I'm like, "Let's go here. Let's go off the beaten path here." But the maps I'm a map guy forever. And I'm also a puzzle guy, Paulie. So puzzles and maps for life. Okay?
Is that right? Do you ever do the New York Times puzzle on Sunday? It's no
not crossword puzzles. I'm talking about jigsaw puzzles. Dude.
Oh, okay. All right. How about you ever build a ship in a bottle, Tony? We can maybe try that next month. Yeah,
build a ship in a bottle, Paulie, but I do puzzles and then I decoupage them and I save them. And my wife thinks I'm crazy because she goes, "Why don't you just break it down and put it back in the box?" I go, "I just spent literally the last month putting that together. And you want me to just break it down and put it in a box? No.
Nah, I can't help you. By the way, shout out to the Hum Daddies who were saying there's a track from the Yeah Yeah Yeahs called Maps. I don't know it, but I love you chiming in with that, bro. Great to see the Hum Daddies on board today. Good to see you guys. Hey, Gizmo, what's happening with you, man? Good to see Gizmo, Hum Dad. We got everybody on board today. It's great to see y'all. Okay. Oh, sorry, Tony. Go ahead. It's been a while. I need it's been too long. Go ahead.
Yeah, it's been a while. It's been a while.
That's been a while. Yeah.
Since our first
Don't need it. Sorry. Didn't ask for it. Don't need it. But anyway, go ahead.
It's been a while. It's been a while since we've heard Close Encounters. Numerology out of the gate, Paulie. Before we get moving on the show, numerology. This is episode 255. Episode 255. I'm going first. Well, you got something. I can tell you got something.
I do.
Go.
Okay. I thought you were going to go first, but I'll go first. And today's going to be the first time that yours truly, Paulie Mack, will deviate from my normal 49er number assignments, because when you throw a 55 at me, dude, there's only one place I'm going. That's Tim Lincecum, who is, I got Willie McCovey way up there at the top from my childhood, and then I got Jack Clark, but Timmy is right there, one of my all-time favorite Giants, and I love Timmy to death. Miss him. Wish we would see him more often, but I love Timmy. And he'll be my 55. And how about this? Going further back in time, let's go 70s Giants, behind the hill, big husky dude, bro. Mark Hill catching. Mark Hill, number 2, Tony. So I'm going Mark Hill, Timmy Lincecum. You're up.
Beautiful, Paulie. I'm going to go my favorite pitcher of all time, Oral Hershiser. Kidding.
Okay, right. Who was the Giant, by the way?
Double guns to Oral, because dude, the year he wore the Giants uniform, I puked when I saw it.
That son of a bitch. It's the first time I've ever dropped that on the show. That son of a bitch. And by the way, Oral? You know what I mean? What are we doing? Oral.
No.
Anyway, that son of a bitch he was the opening day pitcher at Candlestick, like 98, 98, one of those years. I couldn't believe my own eyes. I'm like, this is crazy. Oral Hershiser. Yeah, it was gross.
Just puke emoji all day long. But in all seriousness, Paulie, and I didn't know that he passed away in September of this year, but 55 goes to the lesser known Fahnhorst brother, Jim Fahnhorst, number 55. Jim Fahnhorst. Keith Fahnhorst, number 71. I'm going Jim Fahnhorst, number 55 with the Niners in Niners lore.
Respect.
And then if you want to go number 2, God, the number 2s are kind of fading from my memory here. But I think Mike Gallego number 2? No, he was number 9.
Derek Jeter was number 2. I know that.
Yeah, I said Jeter yesterday. So
you did. That's right. My bad. You did.
That's okay. With Darryl Waltrip, is he number 2?
I don't know, man. I really don't.
Then I'll do a number 25, Bobby Bonilla, because we celebrate Bobby Bonilla still getting paid.
What a pull, dude. Bobby Bonilla. I did not see that coming, but I love it and I respect it. All right, that's why I keep Creative Tony around. He's good for a Bobby Bonilla drop every now and again. All right, kids.
Hey, by the way, Gravy. Sorry, Paulie, real quick. Gravy. I said D. Lou last week, or I would have said D. Lou again. So, Gravy, I love that you know Darren Lewis is number 2. D. Lou. Rusty Wallace, number 2. Okay, beautiful. And then Sean Estes, 55. Good job, Joe Schmo. Sean Estes, 55. Hey, Sean Estes, don't ever wander off second base again. Dude, remember the crawling off of second base, dude, and then he got tagged out?
Yeah, what was that? Yeah, give me a little more context. What was the scenario? Was that a play? Yes, I kind of do remember that.
He slid into second base, and then it was safe, but then he wandered off the bag, and he got tagged, and I was like, dude, what are you doing, man?
I got to tell you, I'm very fond of Sean Estes, just as a guy. Like, he's a really good dude, and we should try to get him on once baseball starts up. In fact, just to give you a little peek behind the curtain, I mean, it's no big deal, but we're currently working on adding to our show and our kind of rotation. We're trying to get some regular guests booked for baseball season, and that would be the kind of guy I would like to have, like Sean Estes, once a week or once every couple of weeks. Like that's what I'm thinking. So stay tuned. We're going to try to, we try to continue to improve the show as we go. We're not just sitting on our hands. We're already thinking about baseball. Other names have been kicked around, but I don't want to say anything in case we can't reach like an agreement. But Sean Estes would be a guy that would fill that role. That's the kind of guy I'm going to try to get to join us. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. It's business time.
Look at our man Los D checking in. Carlos Elefonte with an amazing super. Thank you for the super, Los D. He says Hershiser's teammate Steve Sachs. Imagine Oral Sachs.
Thank you, Los D. Hey man, he's keeping it spicy on a Tuesday. It's a spicy Tuesday on the PMP show. Hey, again,
by the way, Paulie, real quick on Los D. I finally watched episode 1 of Rise of the 49ers last night because I couldn't watch over the weekend. Watched it last night, and dude, yes, emotional watching that stuff. And dude, Eddie D.
I know.
Early footage of Eddie D. It's like he's right. I mean, I
know he's right. He's sitting right there. Wait till you get into the Super Bowl winning years. Like the first episode kind of sets up what's to come. And last night, so I've made it through 3. I'll finish the 4th and final episode later tonight. And by the way, Paul Tonelli, he's all over that thing, man. Paul Tonelli is interviewed frequently throughout that documentary.
I said to Paul, he called like 20 minutes ago while Paulie and I were doing the pre-show hang, and I go, hey, by the way, nice sandbagging and not telling any of your family members that you're in this thing. And he goes, no big deal. It's no big deal. It's not making a big deal about it. Yeah.
That is so Tonelli. He's the most under the radar dude of all time. And I love that about him, actually. He's not the kind of guy that beats his chest and says, hey, look at me. But he does a lot of amazing stuff. So I'm looking forward to talking to him. But anyway, last night, they did the 88 Super Bowl winning team, which might surprise you, Tony. That's my favorite 49er team of all time. It just has a real soft spot in my heart because they were 6-5. There was Joe, there was Steve, there was injuries. It was mayhem. And then they got hot and ran the table and beat Cincinnati in the Super Bowl. But when their lowest point, when they bottomed out, I don't know if you remember this game in the 88 season. The Niners lost a brutal game. I think the score was like 9-3 or something against the Raiders at Candlestick. And this all goes back to Eddie D. And then Eddie DeBartolo was interviewed and he goes, yeah, I kind of lost my temper in that game. We had this big glass wall. We used to keep like waters and Cokes behind that. And he goes, I walked in there and I kicked it and I shattered the glass all over the. Eddie D was running hot as hell. He talks about his tantrums throughout.
Oh,
and
dude,
by the way, shout out. Sorry, Tony. One last thing, real quick. Sorry. Shout out Eddie DeBart. How many of you remember this? This is gangster S to the highest order. 1996. Niners get annihilated in the playoffs by the Green Bay Packers. It was brutal. One of my least favorite games of all time. That was a game when Steve Young had the broken ribs and he had to leave. And by the way, blank Gerback, dude. I never liked Gerback.
Oh.
Gerback goes in there, stinks the joint up. Niners get blown out. Eddie D's leaving the field at Lambeau. Dude, he starts throwing punches at dudes. Do you remember that? He got into fisticuffs with some Packer fan. Do you remember that? That's my guy. That's my owner. That's he's a hot-blooded Italian. Hey, Paisan, I'll throw a hand as an NFL owner. You're not getting that anymore. You don't see Bob Kraft throwing punches. You know what I mean? Yeah.
Well, the only punches Kraft is throwing is inside the massage booth. That's the only punches he's throwing. So, sorry, buddy. Allegedly.
Sorry, I endorse it.
Allegedly. Gotta be careful. Just like
Allegedly
Ray Lewis, allegedly naked in the trunk of a car. Anyways.
Why was he naked? Because he wanted to get the bloody clothes off or something? After the murders? Just throwing that after the murders. Okay.
Let me ditch these clothes that are bloodstained, and then I'm going to be naked in the trunk. Dude, it's just.
Let me bounce this off you real quick.
Let's build a statue of that guy while we're at it, by the way.
Hey, dude.
Build a statue and put it in front of.
How about this? How about this for your head? How about the fact that Ray Lewis was accused of murder? He's in the Hall of Fame. Bob Kraft, not so fast. Sit down. Old man. What have you ever done? 6 Super Bowls. Big deal. You know what I mean? Lewis in. Kraft out. Yeah. So we'll talk about that at more length today too. I'm actually interested in that story. I think it's BS, man. And it's a 1-2 double gun to the Pats. Belichick, no. Robert Kraft, no. Listen, I know a lot of people hate the Patriots. I get it. I really do. I'm not one of those people. I have a lot of respect for what they did in New England for like essentially 20 years. It was very reminiscent of the Niners. It really was. Yeah. And the fact that the NFL somehow thinks that they're not qualified to be first ballot. And should Tom Brady start to worry?
I was going to say, does Brady not make it? Yeah.
I'm not kidding. The most winning quarterback of all time. Maybe he gets denied. I don't know. We'll see. But I think it's just a horrible look for the Hall of Fame. And it's hard to take the Pro Football Hall of Fame seriously after seeing stuff like this. And Miriam, I saw your text before the show. I saw that. And what's up, Miriam? Nice to see you, as always. She said, Tony, Miriam was like, I really hope Roger Craig gets in. He's been waiting for 28 years. And go ahead.
No, Paulie, sorry. I just saw something on Twitter like an hour ago, and it says, did Kay Adams and Jed Yorks just leak that Roger Craig has been finally named to the NFL Hall of Fame? I guess Kay Adams, quote, Roger Craig did finally well-deserved get into the Hall of Fame. And then Jed says, Roger has been waiting for so long. I can't think of anybody who changed the game more than Roger. So I don't know if that's something leaked and that he got in, but like you, Paulie, get him in, man.
Well, here's the thing on that. And I've always remembered this. One of my great kind of, I don't know, acquaintances over the years was Art Spander, legendary sports writer in the Bay. I think he wrote for the Chronicle back in the day, Oakland Tribune. We all know Art Spander. And Art Spander said, here's how you should view the Hall of Fame in football. Can you tell the story of NFL football without that guy? And I would argue that, no, you can't, because I don't think the 1988 49ers would have won a Super Bowl without Roger Craig. That's the year he went 1,000 receiving and rushing. That he was a critical ingredient that year. He was every bit as valuable as Jerry Rice was. I'm telling you, in 88, if you were around, you know what I'm talking about.
Yep.
So, no, you can't tell the story of pro football history without Roger Craig. And he also won a ring in 84, and then he won another one in 89. He's got 3 Super Bowl rings, and he's the first 1,000 guy of all time. Put him in the freaking Hall, for Christ's sake. And I think he will get in. I do.
It goes to show how hard it is to do 1,000. McCaffrey, arguably overused this year, 17 regular season games, still couldn't get 1,000. So it's like, that's how hard it is to do. And just mad respect to Roger Craig. I love him. And I'm looking forward to the rest of the Rise of the 49ers show. Episode 1 had me just like, and I'm watching it with my son. like I kind of forced him to watch it
You
because
got to teach him. No, you got to show him the history. It's important.
Yeah.
It really is. This is where it all came from. Yeah.
Dad, I know Jerry Rice, Joe Montana, Steve Young. I go, no, but you don't know.
No, you don't know. You got to watch.
Yeah.
You got to see how we built this damn thing. Yeah.
And
yeah.
It's funny, but once he started watching it, then he got locked in, But the footage of Eddie D in the early years, it's like it's like he's Pacino's brother, dude. I mean, he looks like a Pacino.
Yeah.
He
kind of does. He kind of does.
It's crazy with the butterfly collars and the
big fat tie and everything. The 70s tie. Yeah.
Oh, it's incredible.
You know what jumps out at me, Tony, is watching a lot of this stuff is how beautiful of a quarterback Joe Montana was. Like his throwing, like nobody throws balls like that anymore. He was always going downfield. Niners don't really do that anymore. We don't go downfield. We do a lot of short kind of dink and dunk stuff.
Paulie, I love in episode 1, 2, when Walsh is talking about how football was basically a running game. And I thought, well, how do we keep the linebackers off the line of scrimmage? Let's drop back to pass and just throw short passes. Like, God, man.
Yeah.
Like now it seems like, of course, but back then it was so just revolutionary. It's just incredible stuff. If you haven't seen it yet, go watch it. And even if you have to do this, just do a 7-day free trial of the AMC Plus app if you have to, and then just cancel it before the 7th day.
Hey, you know what, Tony? Another time I think we're going to get a chance to talk about the great 49er teams will be next Monday night when Creative Tony and I join our good buddy NorCal, Dan at NorCal Sports, rather. We're going to guest on his show. I hope Los D joins us too. Los, jump onto that show. So look forward to that next Monday after the Super Bowl. We'll do our regular show, and then we're going to jump on with Dan at 8 o'clock. And while we're talking Dan, let's give him some love. Let's get into our latest sponsor, one of our favorite guys. He is Dan Coach Emilio with Secure Money.
Hey, Paulie, Dan's tomorrow.
Dan's tomorrow. Dan is tomorrow. Tomorrow, well, you know what? Shout out to Beatles. Tomorrow never knows. Hey, I'll tell you what I'm going to do. A good track, by the way. I'm going to say, Dan, that's just a tease for what's ahead. Okay? Yes. I told you before the show, I'm starting to get. I'm drowning. I'm drowning over here, bro. I got Dan over here. You know what I mean? I got Tom Stack over there. It's mayhem. So why don't we do it?
I'm going to get you something else. If you can just stand by for one moment.
Standing.
This is gonna lead us into the first portion of the show, the first spot of the show. This is another Dom Peralta creation, and I hope the let's see if it pops up. Come on, yes,
dude. Oh, it's the Grateful Dead house. Nice, dude. 710 Ashbury. That is tremendous, dude. And that's where we belong. By the way, that's where we freaking belong. Right in the window, just sitting there. That's all we need to do. Just sit there in the Grateful Dead house. I got Tom Stack on the steps. That's tremendous.
Is that amazing, Dom Peralta? Great freaking job. You want to know what Peralta Arts and Company does? It's stuff like that, man. This is an idea Paulie and I had, and then, of course, Dom took it and just crushed it. So,
hey, Creative T, can we do? Well, let's just do a Tom Stack ad. That's what
I'm saying. I'm going to lead us into the Tom Stack ad. Yeah,
you guys, I'm sorry. I'll tell you what. I've told you about how brain dead I am. It's getting worse. You know what I mean? It's getting worse. I'm doing Dan when I should be doing Tom. Who knows what I'll do next? But let's do Tom Stack. Let's talk about Tom. He is also one of our newest sponsors, and he's been a good friend of ours for a very long time. Tony literally grew up with Tom, and I've known Tom for about 15 years. First of all, I know him as a human being, great guy, huge Grateful Dead fan, used to work for the Grateful Dead back in the day. And like a lot of people that work for the Grateful Dead, that experience taught Tom how to the art of interaction with people. Tom is a real people guy. He loves people. He loves talking to all kinds of different people. He's a helper. Like, he'll help you out. So think about it like this. You're watching the show, you're listening to the show, and maybe it's time for you to start thinking about buying a house. And if you're starting to think that way, that means it's time to talk to Tom Stack. He works primarily out in the East Bay, but he's got contacts all over the place. So if you're looking for a house in the city, looking for a house in the North Bay, and you're like, maybe I shouldn't call Tom anyway. Believe me, he can put you into his network and get you in the hands of somebody really good. Now, if you're looking in the East Bay, Tom is definitely your guy. He is a broker with Coldwell Banker Realty. He's been over 20 years in the business. He's put a lot of people into a lot of beautiful homes. He's also an SI product. Go Cats, get them cats and all that, Tony. You know what I mean? Go Cats, get them cats. And he is also the creator, just going back to his Grateful Dead years. He was the guy who created that whole thing, Club Dead. If you're Deadhead and you remember all the gear, that was Tom Stack. He did all that stuff. Now, he is also an active participant in the community out in Lafayette. He has hosted over or promoted over 100 shows. I did a show for Tom with the Freestone Peaches at the Town Hall Theater in Lafayette. He's like the king of the whole Lafayette corridor out there. But again, when it comes time to buy the house, make sure that you have the right people in your corner. I told you with my experience, you know what I mean? My agent, she was a nice lady, but I look back on that now with a little more experience in my life. And I'm like, damn, I really was getting strong armed by that lady, man. She was like, yeah, we're going to do this. We're going to do this. Sign here, sign here. I'm like, yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. Now I look back and I'm like, you know what? I was probably getting bullied by her. And Tom is not going to do that. He's going to listen to your needs. He's going to look at your budget and he's going to work with you and give you the proper guidance and assistance you need. Tom Stack, Coldwell Banker Realty. Let me throw you some contact info, 925-878-9964. One more time. 925-878-9964. Tony, you can also email Tom Stack at your leisure, as Shannon Kaler would say, at your leisure, which is Tom Stack at cbnorcal.com. Pardon me, tom.stack at cbnorcal.com, Tony.
Paulie, we talk about Tom Stack's main region, the La Marinda corridor, Lafayette, Moraga, Orinda. And we're also talking about Tom Stack, 2023's Lafayette Business Person of the Year. He won the award there. He also, in his annual sales production, consistently finishes in the top 1% nationally in sales among all Coldwell Banker agents. And also, I love this. He was talking to us and he says he likes to create, every transaction is like its own little business. Every client, every house, it's like its own little business. And he wants to deal with you throughout the transaction and then beyond, and become a client/friend for life. It's all about building a relationship. So we love Tom and we're so happy to have Tom on board with us. But seriously, the proof is in the pudding, in the track record and what Tom has built over there in La Marinda. So if you're in that area looking to buy or sell, if you know somebody that is in that area looking to buy or sell, contact Tom. Or if you're looking to buy or sell anywhere else in the greater Bay Area, contact Tom and he may know somebody. Again, it's 925-878-9964 or email tom.stack@cbnorcal.com.
Thank you, Tony. And thank you so much, Tom Stack. We love you, buddy. And we're hoping to help out your business. You're certainly helping out ours. So onward and upward with Tom Stack, Coldwell Banker Realty. Okay, Tony, on to the show today. I want to get your feeling actually about Robert Kraft. I mean, I know you're not a Pats guy. I'm not really a Pats guy either, but I got to be honest. I mean, if you're a football fan, it would be hard to build a case where you say, yeah, Robert Kraft, he's not a first ballot Hall of Famer as an owner. And having gone through what we did with Eddie D, I'm sensitive to that. They really jerked Eddie D around for a long time before they finally let him go in. So I don't know what's going on. I just think this is making the Pro Football Hall of Fame look pretty cheesy and kind of disorganized and not like prestigious. It's not a prestigious look. How do you view this whole thing?
The Kraft here's how I think of the Kraft thing. Like the Kraft thing for me is more like it's more comical to me. It's more like it's I don't feel strongly as much about owners getting in as I do about coaches and players, just because I'm so pro player and pro coach. But yeah, it's just odd. Just let the guy in. I mean, he's done so much for Patriots football and the NFL too. I'm sure he's done a lot behind the scenes for the NFL. He definitely doesn't help himself with some of the decisions he's made off the field or out of the boardroom, whatever you want to call it. But I just think it's kind of comical that there's this whole Patriots thing that's happening now. And like I saw Fareed Robot Centaur earlier in the chat saying there should be like an allegedly section of the Hall of Fame. Like, we'll take you down the allegedly wing, because this is the people that have allegedly committed to.
Yeah, but here's what I'm saying though: is it about that or is it about football?
No, it's, of course, it should be about football. But
yeah,
I think that it's just certain things that you can't look past. And then here's your lumps, right? You know, we're giving you your lumps here. You got to earn it. You're not going to make it in the first time. And I mean, Bill Walsh didn't make it in the first time, right? So it's
what did he ever do? Yeah, what did Bill Walsh just the 3 Super Bowls? So what? Big deal. Yeah.
The whole Hall thing, but it's just.
But again, I keep saying this to all our guests, like Tom Landry, Chuck Noll, and Don Shula were all first ballot. What did they do that Bill Walsh didn't? Or what did they do that Bill Belichick did? Like, it doesn't make any sense to me.
Great question, Paulie. And I don't even know. That's why the Hall of Fame, I kind of take it. I appreciate that it exists. And if I ever go to Canton, I will absolutely visit it. And like I'm going to Cooperstown. Oh, by the way, thank you to everybody who got Super Bowl squares for Cooperstown for my son Dom. Thank you. If you are interested in Super Bowl squares as a fundraiser for my son Dom, just email me. Email us at pollyspod@gmail.com and I'll send you the link for some squares. But thank you to those that did buy squares. I really, really appreciate the help. But my point is that we're going to Cooperstown and I'm going to go to the Major League Baseball Hall of Fame, and I can't wait to see that. But I just kind of I don't live and die by it, because it's like there's this group of people making these decisions, and it's like, okay, of course you're going to have like some jackasses are like, no, we cannot let Robert Kraft into the Hall of Fame because of this and this and this. And it's like, well, what about the rings, man? And what about the just domination and the dynasty? And so I don't know. It should be all about the football, Paulie, but it's not.
Hey, let me interrupt the program with a quick announcement. Now, this comes from one of our favorite PMP correspondents, my main man, Stevie B. He is a product of the Garden State, and he says, hey, any PMPers hitting Dave Chappelle at the Punchline tomorrow night? If so, let's meet up. Stevie B, question. First of all, I didn't even know about this. Wow. I would go see Dave Chappelle anywhere. I'd see him in a big hall, a small hall, but that would be the ideal. Seeing him at Punchline would be freaking amazing. That's where Tony was from, like in the 90s. Yeah, I mean, but he was like an up-and-comer at that point. He wasn't like this legendary guy that he is now. Stevie B, do you have tickets to this thing? And if so, how in God's name did you get those? I must have sold out in like 3 seconds, but no, I don't have tickets to that. Tony and I are about to get into a couple of super busy days. We got a lot going on, actually. I'm not even sure I could get to that gig, but if you're going, have a great time and tell Chappelle I said what's up. Enjoy that. That's going to be a great experience in a tiny club like that. Tony and I, we got to deal with a bunch of credential stuff today. Then we got to, by the way, well, we'll talk off the air about that, but we should be live at Radio Row on Thursday, right? We're pretty much like getting almost time to confirm that, but that's what today's, yeah.
The fact that I had to send 3 headshots to the NFL is like, what are we doing?
I sent 1. I don't know if I need 2 more.
You're gonna need to send 2 more, supposedly, but whatever.
They all look the same. It's still me. I don't know how much variation you want. You want me looking this way, looking that way? Like, what are we doing here? I mean, what was my shirt open? You're like, yeah. Here I am.
Good side shots. Good side. Huey, what's up, dude? Danny, baby Huey's on the chat. What's up, dude? Yes, we're going Thursday, Danny. So if you're there, buddy, we'll stop by the Bone booth and say hello to Danny, who's Baby Huey, long time radio lifer for Lamont Tonelli. Danny on the chat. What's up, Danny?
Pat, yeah, I love Danny. What's up, man? Hey, Patty from Napa goes, I think you guys should send the NFL pictures of yourselves in robes. Great call. Well, I'll tell you what would happen, Patty. No credentials. We wouldn't get them. They wouldn't issue the credentials if we sent them photos in robes, but I love where your head's at, Patty.
The full disclosure, too, like we tried to get season credentials from the 49ers in the NFL. We tried to get them from the Giants, too, and everybody's like, well, what are you now? Because we're not a
credential from the Giants. I've seen
like they're saying, like, what are you now? The whole process is totally different. It used to be like, oh, KMBR, sure, done. Now it's like there's a whole different vetting process.
I get it, though, because there are so many people doing show. Like, even in our community, there's me and you. There's Dan at NorCal. There's Low Steve. Like, everybody. I think Huey has his own side hustle show going, I think, right? Huey, don't you do that? Anyway, like, I'm just saying, I get it. The NFL's got to sort through a lot of crap to find out, like, who's coming from where, what's your show, blah, blah, blah. But anyway, we intend on being live at Radio Row on Thursday. Looking forward to that. Okay, Paul Tonelli joins us in a couple of moments. Tony, real quick on Draymond Green. I know you mentioned that at the beginning. I'm going to let you take this. Go ahead. Introduce your idea, and I'll respond because I hadn't thought about this. But go ahead.
Tonight, the Warriors play. They host the Pistons, and they don't play again until Thursday night.
It's Philly tonight, I think.
I'm sorry. They played Pistons on Friday. They played Philly tonight. Thank you. Yeah. But then they don't play again until Thursday night, post trade deadline. So, is this Draymond's last game as a Warrior? Because there's a lot of scuttlebutt and rumors out there that Draymond's going to be involved in a trade, maybe for Giannis. And Steve Kerr even saying, like, a lot of the players on the team are on edge because they don't know if they're going to be one of the players traded, and everybody is available to be traded except for Steph. So it's kind of this weird, you know what it reminds me of, Paulie, is like working in radio around the month of November every year. And you're like, am I going to get fired this?
Who's going this year? Yeah. Who's going to go? Who's getting their heads chopped off this year? It is like an annual occurrence over there.
Oh, totally. And then, like, finally, I got whacked in 2024. Probably got whacked in 2023. So it's like, and so I'm just wondering if this is the end of Draymond's 14 years as a Warrior, which is crazy to think of.
It is. And here's what I would say to that. And I know a lot of people have kind of worn out. People are just kind of worn out by Draymond Green. I'm not one of those guys. I'm loyal to Draymond till the day he dies, because I'm telling you right now, we don't have any of those rings without him. Whether you love him or not, that's just a fact. That's a bottom freaking line. And you got to remember what Draymond was. I remember when Draymond came up as a rookie, he went right up to LeBron. He's like, I'm guarding you. I'm guarding you. And he was a rookie. You know what I mean? Like, he just had balls, man. And he's got tenacity, and he still does. And I think people sleep on Draymond's basketball IQ. I think in any given situation, he arguably might be the smartest guy on the floor. I really mean that. I think he would make a great coach someday if he can like learn how to do that, because he's got so much knowledge. He sees things on the court before they unfold, and he works so well with Steph. Now, here's what I would say to whether or not this is Draymond's last game. It does sound like he could be a piece if the Giannis thing happens. But I've also heard this, that if they were to move Draymond right now for Giannis, the Warriors might be able to pull off a maneuver where they would actually bring him back at the end of the season. So in other words, it would be like Draymond going to Milwaukee or whatever for the rest of this season, and then when this season expires, we bring him right back and let him finish his career with Golden State. Now, that's one scenario I've heard. Again, you take this with a grain of salt, but that's what I'm hearing. And I know they're going to throw a ton of first-round picks to Milwaukee. There is another scenario, Tony, where Giannis doesn't go anywhere. Like, this thing just kind of dies on the vine after the deadline, and that's entirely possible. The final four teams I keep hearing that are serious contenders are Miami, Minnesota, New York, and right here in Golden State.
And so Robot Centaur, I think he just said T-Wolves might be the sleeper, and I agree with Robot Centaur about the T-Wolves might end up with Giannis and playing with Ant-Man, right?
Well, that's the big attraction. You know, you want to go play with a young stud like Anthony Edwards, who, by the way, has never won anything. Just throwing that out there. He's talented.
Hold on. He takes victory laps outside of what's the name of the arena down in LA? Why am I blanking on the arena down in LA? Yeah, Staples Center. He does victory laps after winning a playoff series. Remember that? After beating the Lakers last.
Vaguely, was that Anthony Edwards who did that?
Yes.
Yeah, it's a bad look. It's a really bad look. But I like Anthony Edwards. I think he still needs to mature and kind of grow up a little bit. But I like him. I like him as a player. But I almost think if I'm Giannis, I'm like, dude, I don't know. I got Steph Curry and Steve Kerr, like proven champions. I don't know. I would think there's an appeal there. Joe Lacob going to throw a lot of money at him. We'll see. I don't know.
I would think so too. I think it was Robot Centaur. There's a rumor going around that Giannis doesn't want. He wants to be the guy and doesn't want to play under Steph Curry's shadow. That's maybe why he doesn't want to come to the Warriors. And it's like, dude,
okay.
And I send a message back saying, if that's the case, then F him.
Who said this? Where'd you get that from?
Giannis. This is a rumor that's floating around. And
okay.
That Giannis might not be interested in the Warriors because he doesn't want to play second fiddle to Steph. So, because I think everybody in the NBA is aware of how Steph runs this town, right? At least in as far as the NBA goes. And I feel like if that's the case, Giannis, then peace. I don't want anything to do with that because this is Steph's town. Steph plays second fiddle to nobody, and you don't come in here thinking that you're going to just supplant Steph Curry here in Warriors, in Warriors Nation, Dub Nation. So if that's the case, no, thank you. But if it isn't the case, and he's open to sharing the spotlight and not caring about the spotlight and wanting to get a ring, then let's go.
Yeah, then let's go. Let's freaking go. Giddy up. By the way, Gravy checking in today saying essentially what you just said. Listen, if Giannis wants to be the guy, stay in Milwaukee, Holmes. Just stay where you are. Okay, Tony, I want to do this real quick. I want to do a Young Dental spot before Tonelli joins us. And I also forgot to mention this earlier. Sorry to backtrack, but I want to throw this on the pile. If you guys haven't heard and you're a 49er fan, Jed York essentially announced that they will now have a Jerry Rice statue outside of Levi Stadium, and they don't know where they're going to place it yet, Tony. All I can say is I wish this was a joke, but it's not. Maybe they can place it in a more attractive spot than Steve Young by the trash can in the park. I still don't understand that. For the life of me. Across the street. By the way, go around the trash can, okay? Go the overflowing trash can with beer cans and hot dog wrappers. Yeah, just go around that, and you'll find the Steve Young statue. Tony, It's right by the freaking parking garage. What the hell?
Ray
What?
Lewis has a statue prominently placed outside of the Ravens stadium, right out front. Steve Young is across the what is it? The VTA across the VTA tracks.
Cut the S. I'm getting pissed. Cut the S.
Well, this goes back to our cut the crap segment, dude. Hey, Niners, cut the crap.
Yeah.
Move the Young statue over to the plaza
It's
where
almost
Dwight
like a middle
Clark and
finger.
Joe Montana are.
Yeah.
What are you doing? And if you're going to do Jerry Rice better be over there too. These are, by the way,
no, Tony, you know what they could do? Maybe they could put the Jerry Rice statue right in front of the substation.
Totally,
You know what I mean? Just make the fans go over there and stand in front of the substation. Yeah.
Something will probably happen to the actual statue, actually, to be honest with you. But I also read something yesterday that 4 of the top 10 selling Niners jerseys this year were 49ers, dude. How about that? And it was Brock Purdy, I think, and then CMC, George Kittle, and Fred Warner. I think Warner was the highest selling Niner.
Nice. Wow. Yeah. Okay. Nice.
And then 8, 9, and 10 were Purdy, CMC, and Kittle. So Kittle in that. I don't know the order, but yeah.
No,
that's pretty. No.
I'm just asking. What? I don't know. He's a popular player. What? Why does that make?
I don't know why that made me laugh. Oh, total side topic we didn't even talk about before. Are you down with? Because I've seen a couple.
Joey coming to town the whole. But I don't know. I mean, I don't know. I mean,
if they can get him for a decent price tag, I would take.
Would you rather have Max Crosby or Bosa's brother?
Crosby.
Me too. That's what I'm focused on. Let's bring that lunatic over here. Give me the guy with the tattoos and the one eye black. He looks nuts. Get him on the other edge. That's going to make me a little happier than the Bosa brothers reunion. I don't know. That doesn't move me that much. Yeah.
Max with 2 X's, by the way. Double X.
How could you not? All right, Tony, listen. I want to talk about Dr. Young. That's Young with 1 Y, Tony. 1 Y. Dr. Young, Young.
2 T's, Paulie.
Okay, I'll give you the 2 T's. Well, that's an abbreviation for Matthew, of course. Thank you, Tony. Dr. Matt Young, the official dentist of the Polymac Particle Show. Creative Tony has literally had his entire family in the offices of Dr. Young, in the chair of Dr. Young very recently. I know Escobar was in not too long ago, too. And we'd like to get more of you guys over there. The PMP community, you got to trust me on this one. Again, I don't steer you wrong when it comes to pizza. I'm not going to steer you wrong when it comes to something as serious as dental work either. And I know it's a big deal, and I know it's a drag, and I know a lot of people don't want to do it. But listen, this is the guy. This is the freaking guy who's going to change your whole outlook about that. He's already changed my outlook. He worked on Creative Tony, and Tony, I think, came out of there looking really good with his white teeth. He's like a lot of our sponsors. He's a veteran. He's been doing this over 25 years. I love the fact that Dr. Young is a real San Francisco guy. He lives in the city. He cares about the city. His office is in the city. In this day and age, everybody's like, oh, I hate the city. Oh, it's so, You know what? San Francisco's the best. Everybody pipe down. Dr. Young lives there, and I got his back. Again, his office is down in Union Square, 490 Post Street. Get on down there. Comprehensive dental care across the board, whatever your situation is. Oh, I got a toothache. He can help you with that. I think I have a cavity. He's got you covered. I think I need a root canal. Done. He'll take care of you. And if you need a big procedure like that, because I did have a root canal done with Dr. Young, it's going to go by whatever you need to make the experience tolerable. He will provide you with. If you need the gas, he'll give you the gas. He's giving it to me. That's my preference. I like to wake up when it's done, like Megan, Tony's other half. Like I feel like I don't want to know what's going on, and he's cool with that. He's like, all right, you just chill then, man. You breathe in the gas, throw some headphones on, listen to Mick Jagger, and I'll tell you when it's over. That's how I like to do it. Some people like to be awake and talk the whole time. I'm not really one of those guys, and he respects that. So he's going to make you comfortable with whatever your request might be. He specializes in implant surgeries and implant restorations. He is the presidente of the American Academy of Implant Dentistry. And if you want further, kind of endorsement, please do read his thousands, not an exaggeration, thousands of positive reviews on Google or Yelp. Take your pick. It's all out there. He's going to accept pretty much all the major insurance companies. Shouldn't have any challenges there, Tony. And I can't say enough good things about him. Thank you, Dr. Young, for supporting the show. Reach out to him at info@youngdentalsf.com. Really, just so you guys know, he's been a big supporter of the show. It's like since we got started. So thank you very much, Dr. Young. And we hope to send you some new patients very soon, Tony.
Oh, I'm a huge fan of the entire process of Dr. Young and the Young Dental Group. And you talked about it already, Paulie, but I just want to reiterate. the vibe and the way you're treated, and just the knowing, just being so aware of the fact that the dentist isn't something that people look forward to, for a lack of a better term, but they make it something that's enjoyable, man. And we've talked about this so many times, and they make it enjoyable. And Paulie described the many reasons why. My wife, 6 hours now. She's thrilled that she did it and it's done. And by the way, Dr. Young takes most insurances. She had a different insurance company that I wasn't really aware of, and Dr. Young's like, "Oh no, we take it." And 6 days a week, they're open 6 days a week, 8 a.m. to 7 p.m.
6 days a week. Go ahead, Tony.
Yeah. And Saturdays, that's the key thing. Saturdays, because everybody's schedule is so freaking crazy. Saturdays, 8 a.m. to 4 p.m. as well. 8 hours, not just like a half day on a Saturday, 8 hours, 8 a.m. to 4 p.m. on Saturday. So, and again, make a day of it in San Francisco. Go to Dr. Young in the morning, then go down to North Beach or something, or go down to the waterfront or whatever. Make it a day in the city. Because
go to Tadich Grill. Go to Tadich Grill. Grab a bib. You know what I mean? Sit down at Tadich Grill. Get a feel for real San Francisco and enjoy some incredible food while you're over there. They're not even a sponsor, but I'm shouting them out.
I was going to say, go to Cafe Macaroni and ask for Mario and Stephanie.
Go to Molinari's. Go get a sandwich at Molinari's. I'm telling you, we got all kind of opportunities over there in San Francisco. Go to Longbridge. You know what I mean? We got all. Oh, by the way, anyway, thank you, Dr. Young. We freaking love you, buddy, and hope to see you soon. Tony, we are hell bent on getting Portnoy over to Longbridge Pizza. So PMP Familia, pepper that fool with hey dude, get to Longbridge, because it would really be great for Neil if in terms of exposure, if Portnoy did a pizza review at Longbridge. I think it's possible. Possible. We got a few more days to make this happen. So pepper that guy and get his ass down there, Tony.
Paulie, when you say pepper that guy, he made a post on social media saying, "What pizza spot should I hit when I visit San Francisco for the Super Bowl?" And my buddy Bob Wentz commented and said Longbridge Pizza. I said, "Oh, let's piggyback that." So Paulie and I posted something saying Longbridge. And now, if you can find the comment on Paulie's Twitter page or on Dave Portnoy's, put in the comments, "Dave, go to Longbridge, go to Longbridge, go to Longbridge, 2347 3rd Street." So let's keep that movement going. Everybody hit that up, and so we can get in his inbox and say, "Dave, get to the sourdough crust, man." Nothing says San Francisco more than sourdough. Get to sourdough freaking Sam, dude. Jesus. Yeah. By the way, is sourdough Sam going to be on hand on Sunday, you think?
Let's hope not. You know what I mean? No disrespect. I don't think we need him, do we? What's he going to do? You know,
he might be affected by the substation, man. I don't know. But hey, Paul Tonelli, Uncle Paul is in the green room and he's ready to rock, Paulie. If you're ready,
without further delay, bring him right in on the red carpet. He's been in the green room for quite some time. He is a great friend to the program. He's a great friend of mine for many, many years. He happens to be a blood relation to my partner, Creative Tony. Nothing better to talk 49er football and NFL football with the mind and the PA voice of Levi's Stadium, Mr. Paul Tonelli. And by the way, as I greet Paul, in your impressive spread, the Tonelli compound with the piano and the fireplace.
The piano instructor just left. That's why I was a little late. I was taking some lessons.
Nice. You're working on the outro of Layla by Derek and the Dom. Hopefully. Hey, Paul, quick question. I never would have thought to ask this, but when we were trumpeting your credentials coming in, how does the NFL take care of that? Like the PA announcer for the Super Bowl when it's in your stadium? What's the process of that?
So they do pretty much the same thing they do everywhere they have the Super Bowl. They have their own NFL guy. His name is Alan Roach.
Okay.
And you'll hear him in the background. In fact, I think even on the broadcast, he'll introduce the national anthem singer and do some of the pregame on the national broadcast. So he's been doing that for years. He used to do the Denver Broncos. I believe he's from Minnesota, so he's a Vikings fan. So when the Minnesota job came open, he switched from the Broncos over to the Vikings. So he does PA for the Vikings in Minnesota, but he still does some time in Denver because I don't know if he's still on the air, but he was at a sports radio station there. And he also does PA for the Colorado Avalanche. And he's really, really good. He's a good guy. So I get a chance to hook up with him on Friday, this coming Friday. So I've been asked to be a spotter. So
Nice.
Yeah, he's relying on me for his information. This could really go sideways quick. So,
And does that involve? I'm serious. I'm just innocently asking. Like, does that involve you, like with binoculars and stuff? Like, what do you do as a spotter to make? Because you can't screw this up. It's a Super Bowl.
yeah.
Yeah.
I might put like a tackle by Ryan in there, or McCaffrey on the. Well, of course, we'll get McCaffrey on the carry. So
Yeah.
anyway, I meet him Friday. I'm going over the rosters right now just so I don't have to look things up when I'm spotting for him.
Good man.
We'll be using the binoculars from the press box, and I have to get with him to find out what kind of stuff is he looking for. Is he looking for numbers? And he looks them up. Does he want the name and the number, just a name? Does he want the tackle? See what kind of information he's looking for from me. Everybody's a little bit different. So I've never really heard him do a game, so I don't know. Like, I was in Seattle for the Niners game last week, and their PA guy, when the opposition has the ball, he doesn't mention anything about the play. There's no pass attempt or ball carrier or tackle. He just says down and distance when the opposition has the ball. He doesn't say anything about the other team.
Okay.
Which is not my style at Levi's, but
no.
And I don't know what Allen does, so I'll get with him on Friday and see what he requires of me, and then we'll kind of be hopefully on the same page.
Well, congrats, man. That's a huge honor to be involved in the broadcast like that. I think that's really, really cool. And Paul, we've been Tony, you jump in a second here, but let me get one more for your uncle, which is about this rise of the 49ers on AMC. It's great to see you being a part of that, chiming in on different eras of 49er football. My question, Paul, is since it's Super Bowl Sunday is upon us, how many of the Niner Super Bowl victories did you attend? Because I don't know, like, which of those Niner glory or Super Bowls were you there for in person?
Just one. I almost went to the one at Stanford, which was what, Super Bowl 19?
Sounds right.
When they beat Miami.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And by the way, because I was outside the stadium, and I didn't spend the face value price at the game time of $65 for a ticket.
Which was probably like astronomical back then, right?
So I was waiting for him to come down a little bit. But that was...
Well, wait, which is the one you saw then? What year were you?
The last win in January of 95, season of 94 in Miami against the Chargers.
Wait, Paul, you didn't go in the RV to New Orleans with my dad?
I did not. No, I did not know.
Did your brother Jerry go? Jerry went.
No? On the RV?
Yeah.
Yeah, he may have.
Okay.
I don't know the details. Apparently, I'm not an insider in the family. Nobody's ever really shared the details of that 5-day RV trip to New Orleans.
Yeah, my dad.
Best left unmentioned. Right, right. Best keep that quiet.
Jealous. I was so jealous of that.
But Jerry, my brother, and I, we went to the Miami one in January of 95.
Nice.
I was telling Tony before you came on, Paul, that watching this documentary, it just obviously brings back so many memories and a lot of feelings and emotions. And I was telling Tony that my favorite 49er team of all time, it just has a very special place in my heart, and it's unlikely, is the 1988 team because of what a roller coaster it was. And when they finally got hot at the end of the year, they just started blowing teams out, blew out the Vikings. And then, Paul, going to Chicago for that NFC championship, like, that 28-3 game in the cold, like that's it might be my favorite Niner game of all time. But for you, what was your favorite of the five? Like, which is the team you feel like the strongest connection to?
Well, it's a different feeling for all of them, right? I mean, so the first one in the 81 season is epic because it was epic.
Yeah.
Enough said. Everybody gets the vibe of the 81 season.
Yeah.
84, I love 84 because they came off of that heartbreaking screwing they got in Washington, D.C. in the NFC Championship game at the end of 83.
Yep.
And regrouped. And I think it's one of the great, underrated, unsung, excellent teams in NFL history because everybody always talks about, oh, the Patriots were undefeated and they went to the Super Bowl and they lost to New York. And well, then the Dolphins are the only undefeated team. The Niners were 16-1 and dominated everybody. Went into Stanford Stadium for the Super Bowl, shut down Marino, and absolutely drilled Miami. Everybody was talking about the Dolphins and how good they were. And I just think that 84 team just was on a mission from the very
Yeah.
start. And that one hiccup against the Steelers ruined what could have been a 17-0 season. But you never hear people talk about it. You hear them talk about the 85 Bears and the great season they had.
Yeah.
And I think that 84 season was just an incredible season and should be up there among the top 3 or 4 in NFL history, if not top 5, at least, in the modern NFL.
Nice.
I love the 88 team, like you said,
Yeah.
and the rise of the Niners. I love that clip they had on there of Ronnie Lott during the season, firing up the team, saying, hey, we're in this together. We got to get rolling here. And then, of course, the classic quote of all time was Keena Turner after the Chicago game.
Yeah.
The finesse-ass 49ers came in here and kicked the Bears' ass.
Yeah.
And that was on the program, too, the rise of the Niners. One of my favorite quotes of all time.
Yeah.
And then the other thing is the 89 team. And even though they didn't have the record of the 84 team, when you look at the scores of their games, and not just the 55-10 against the Broncos in the Super Bowl, but they were blowing out everybody. And I think did they shut out the Bears 23-0 that year too?
That was the 84 playoffs. That was the 84. Right. They shut out the Bears. But in 89, to your point, and that team was a freaking wrecking machine. They annihilated the Vikings in the first round, and then they beat the Rams 30-3 in the NFC Championship.
That was it. That's it. Good call.
Yeah. God, and then they blew Denver off the field 55-10 in the Super Bowl.
55-10. That wasn't even close.
Oh, God.
It was over in the first quarter. That game was over in the first quarter. Tony, you jump in, bro.
Well, think about point spreads, too. I don't know what the spread was for that Denver Niners Super Bowl, but Super Bowl 29 that you went to, Paul, at Joe Robbie Stadium, the Niners were 18.5-point favorites in that game. I mean, that is just I don't know if there's been a bigger spread in the Super Bowl since. I don't know. Maybe not.
And they covered, I think, right? They won by 23, I think,
49-26. 49-26.
Yeah, they covered. That is insane, man. Oh, man. Hey,
can I say that? I don't want to get you guys in trouble.
No. Let it fly, man. Let it fly, Paul. It's great to have you on, too. Thank you for the time today. I want to ask you from the Niners glory years, and but you're great. It's great to see you on the show, like I said. But just looking at the game we have in a couple of days here, New England, Seattle. I talked to a friend of mine in Boston today, and he almost started to convince me that the Pats have a good chance to just go out there and win the game. He was comparing it to the first Patriots Super Bowl team, like their 2001 team, and he was saying, it's the same kind of vibe. Like nobody really knew who Tom Brady was yet, right. And Drake May just starting to get a kind of periphery of the country. I don't know. What's your view of this game, Paul? Who do you like and why?
Well, I mean, there's a lot to be said for that. There's a lot of similarities in the vibe of the Patriots. Seattle looks like a team that's on a mission, and just watching them play, they're flying around all over the place. Although Rams kind of have their number. Don't even get me started on the Rams not beating Seattle in the championship game. I thought they definitely had a shot, and I thought McVay made a few mistakes coaching.
Yep. The red zone mistakes about not going for the first down.
Yeah, that was disheartening. I think they should have gone for 2 after that touchdown, the final touchdown they got. But and nobody really mentioned that. But I think that would have put them in better shape. So Seattle, like I said, it just looks like they're on a mission. That running game, that zone running game they have lanes all over the place. Saleh didn't know what to do against them. I mean, they had lanes upon lanes, and I mean wide lanes too, not just in the championship game, but the last game at Levi Stadium. So, I think based on performance, I look at Seattle. The thing that gives me pause, I guess you could say, is Vrabel's such a good defensive coach. And I am so frustrated at the Niners for 2 games, and then the Rams in the championship game not sending extra guys to get pressure on Darnold.
Yeah.
When the Rams sent a 5th guy late, he either threw the ball early, checked down to a short pass, he didn't go deep, or just threw an incomplete pass. Now, he did complete under pressure, but it was all 3 to 5 yards or maybe 7 yards max. He wasn't going downfield. So when he feels pressure, he's getting rid of the ball. And if you want to shut down their long game to Njigba or whatever, you get pressure on him. Saleh, I was up there watching. It was 4 guys and 4 guys and 4 guys and time and completions. And it was every once in a while he'd bring a guy. But, you know, in the 2 final games against Seattle, he might have done that 5 or 6 times, possibly. I didn't keep track. Might have been more. I might be incorrect. But I think Vrabel, if he dials up pressure on Darnold consistently, you know, you go into a game, you're like, okay, do we cover the pass with pressure or coverage? And based on the quarterback and what receivers they have. Are we better off covering with coverage, or do we need to get pressure on this quarterback? I think with Darnold, the answer is pressure. And try to trust your coverage and force him to make completions and force him to make you get back into coverage. But don't just take for granted he's going to complete stuff. So if Vrabel gets pressure on Darnold and brings guys and puts guys in his face, it could be a Patriot win.
Does Mike McDonald anticipate that also being a very good defensive-minded coach, trying to maybe put himself in the mind of Vrabel, anticipate that, and maybe counteract that with more of a running attack?
Yeah, no doubt. That running attack is no joke. Kenneth Walker Jr. and I think Charbonnet will be back, so they're in good shape with their running game.
Yeah, I'm still having nightmares about Kenneth Walker. He had his way with the Niner defense. He really did. Tony, go ahead, buddy.
Yeah, well, Paul, I want to go back to Rise of the 49ers for a second because, of course, in typical Uncle Paul fashion, nobody in the family knew that this even happened. So I'm getting
I love that. He's keeping it gangster. He's keeping it low key, man. I like that. Yeah.
But I'm getting text messages all weekend. Dude, your uncle. And I'm like, wait, what? And
I know too. I'm like, holy cow, there's Tonelli right there. I got Tonelli on.
Holy back, you've done those things. I've seen you on a few of those NFL Films things, and
I have.
But you've been great on those.
Well, you know what's so funny about that, Paul? They used to ask us to do those every year. And I stopped them early on. I go, listen, you guys, if you want to talk 49ers, I'm definitely your guy. But if you want to talk like Ravens and New York Giants, leave me out of it. And they did. So they only called me when they needed Niner stuff, which was kind of cool. Yeah.
It's amazing when you go through the process of how much they talk to you and how little they use.
Right. I know.
That was going to be part of my question, Paul, is that, first of all, when did they contact you and where did they record it?
They had different locations where they recorded different segments when they were here.
Okay.
For me, they rented a house up on Upper Woodside Road before you get up to Skyline, not too far from Alice's restaurant where you get up by the Four Corners up there.
Yeah.
And it was just down the hill from there. Nice spot that they rented, and right off of Woodside Road. The problem was it was near the road, even though it was up a driveway, and it was a Sunday. And on Sunday, Skyline's a busy street because people are going up to Alice's, or guys are on their motorcycles cruising on Skyline. They're using Woodside Road to get up to Skyline. So they had to, retake a bunch of times because of loud motorcycles coming by all the time. So that's where we were, but and I think they had some of the other interviews done up there too. I know they did do a few things in the city. So and it was done, I think, about 9 months ago.
Okay.
So early of 2025.
And who contacted you? Did AMC? Who contacted you? AMC?
No, there was a guy I know who does some part-time photography for the Niners.
Nice.
Gotcha.
And somehow somebody contacted him and said, "Hey, do you know how to get a hold of Tonelli?" And he got a hold of me. His name is Jeff Bear, and Jeff Bear got a hold of me, and then I contacted somebody. But no, it was cool. It was a great experience. Loved it. I thought they were going to get into more of the vibe of the reaction of the city to the success of the '80s.
Yeah,
because I thought that's where they were going to go with me.
Yeah,
and that's what a lot of the questions, to be frank. They had, so what they do is they set you up, and Paul, you know this. Yeah. So you're off camera because you're looking at the guy who's asking you questions, and the camera's off to the side, so you're never really looking at the camera.
Right.
And the great crew, very friendly, accommodating. Everybody couldn't have been more professional, or could not have been any better. But all the questions, not all the questions, but a lot of the questions that they were asking me had to do with being a fan, growing up with the team, going to games at Kezar when I was a kid. In Candlestick, and then the vibe of the city through the 70s, and the Niners being that bright light in the early 80s that kind of resurrected things. So there was a lot of that involved. And what was the reaction of the city? Even though there was still some game stuff involved and stuff about the Niners personnel and things like that, but they left out a lot of the vibe stuff.
Even though I've got Brady fatigue right now, I will say watching him like look through the photo album or react to different things like more of like a fan, it's been pretty cool footage versus the normal Brady that we get in the booth or whatever commercial you're seeing him on. So I've enjoyed that. Just from one bald man to another, Paul, I got to ask you, because you have a nice bald dome. Did they have to buff down your dome? Did they have to like?
Yeah, it's funny.
Listen,
Can you be a little more original with your bald jokes? I mean,
it's not a bald joke. It's not a bald joke. It's a serious question.
They didn't use any powder or anything like that. No, they.
All right. Let me get back into this here. Okay. So I don't have any bald questions. I want to ask one more question about your reaction to watching the final product, Paul, because I've had like a mixture of emotions. Like on the one hand, it brings back all these great memories. It's like, God, we had it so good. We had Hall of Famers all over the place. Eddie DeBartolo and Carmen Policy running that thing beautifully. I know there's a lot of fireworks behind the scenes, and Eddie talks about that, breaking windows and kicking things and everything. He was a hot-tempered guy. My question, Paul, is watching that, does it make you feel, when you look at the state of the Niners today, does it make you feel like we're close to getting back to that kind of greatness again? Or do you feel like, man, we're not even anywhere near what that whole thing was? Like,
I think it's kind of hard to compare, just because the vibe is so different, and the rotation of players around the league is so different, and what free agency has done, and those guys through the 80s, as the team changed, those guys were still part of the Bay Area. They were cemented here. There were guys here, and so many of the guys did stick around from the early 80s teams to the late 80s teams, well, at least the core group.
sure.
So I think it's really, really hard to compare. Taking away a few things, at least memorable things that were said. I thought Eddie was great talking about the New Orleans debacle. Yeah. I thought he was very upfront with that. And he just said, I was stupid. I mean, I couldn't believe, he went kind of to that extent, but he said that was just a bad move.
Yeah.
His frankness on that was I thought remarkable. Him talking about smashing something in the locker room, and Charles Haley in the locker room telling Eddie D, hey, you're crazier than I am.
That was awesome.
I thought it was a great line.
Yeah.
One thing that stood out to me too was Guy McIntyre talking about the strike in '87.
Yeah.
And he wouldn't talk about it.
Yeah.
I mean, that little clip of him saying, I'm not going to talk about it.
Yep.
Don't ask me anything. I'm not going to. And you could tell, I mean, there was no smile. He was adamant.
Nope.
He was serious about it.
Yeah. And you don't see Guy McIntyre get that serious and that stern very often. He's a really chill, easygoing guy. And I know both of you know him too. Yeah.
And that just took me by surprise.
Me too. Yeah. Yeah. He's like, I'm not going there. That's ancient history. I'm not talking about that. I don't think, Tony, you've seen that part yet.
No, I haven't gotten there yet. Yeah,
that will definitely jump out at you, because Guy he's all business when that comes up.
And he is not going to talk about it. That is for sure. And then the other thing, collectively, when you look at it, and everybody, the 80s and the resurgence of the team and team of the 80s, and you look at all the highlights, right? And then this didn't occur to me until the end, when the players' emotions started coming out about, I guess, what they'd been through. And when you think about it, they do that, 79 to 81 rise, and they get the Super Bowl. And then the 82 they get knocked down, and that was just the debacle of the season. They weren't focused. And then 83, they're back near the top. They get screwed in Washington. 84, now they're at the pinnacle again with a 16-1 season. And then you have the Bears and the Giants get in the way, and now they're fighting again. They got the Bears, and then the Giants kicked their ass twice in the playoffs, and then the 87 loss to Minnesota in the playoffs, and now they're sinking again, right? And you got Ronnie in 87 talking to the team halfway through the season and saying, hey, we got to regroup. We got a job to do here, and firing up the team for the rest of the way. And then now climbing again to Cincinnati and the Denver game. And so to me, it all just kind of came together, that it wasn't just like, hey, the 80s were great. Why can't they do it? They had their struggles, and they powered through stuff. And they had to, I get goosebumps thinking about it. They had to unite. They had to get together. They had to team up. I mean, I love Bill Walsh saying for the 87 strike, I don't care what you do, just do it as a team.
That was cool. Yeah.
Oh my God. It was all this stuff you didn't know. You just kind of, you don't know that stuff behind the scenes. You just get fired up that they had this great collective energy among themselves instead of all this individual talent.
You know what? The moment that jumped out at me on that note, Paul, is when this is again going to the '88 season, and they were 6-5, and they were up against the wall, man. If they lost that game, they had a Monday night game against the Washington Redskins, and I didn't know the backstory to this, but Roger Craig and Michael Carter running out onto the field like united, holding hands, like, and then jumped into the pile, like that got me emotional too, like what that moment represented.
Yeah, and so you think of it. Oh, the '80s were great, but the struggles within that decade were tremendous, and they overcame them.
Yeah,
and they stuck together as a team. You didn't see guys getting, at least on the surface, getting frustrated. Guys were frustrated. The whole Montana Young thing or whatever. But it just really drove home a point of how unified they were as a team through everything. I thought that was pretty cool.
The whole I've only seen one episode so far, Paul, but the Joe Thomas era, I didn't really appreciate. Well, because Paulie, my dad had a T-shirt as a kid that he wore all the time. It had the 49ers logo on the front and on the back. It had red felt iron-on letters that said "Blame Joe Thomas."
Nice. Yeah, I had a pennant. They had a pennant too. I forget where that pennant. I got the pennant around here somewhere.
That's awesome.
That said the same thing. It was a red pennant, like a Niner pennant, but it just said "Blame Joe Thomas."
Yeah.
I love that.
I didn't realize how dark of a time it was until watching that. And did you go to those games during the Joe Thomas era?
Yeah. It was one of the great things about going to a late '70s game, and the last two, 78, 79, they were 2-14. And 79 was Walsh's first year as he started to turn things around, but they were still 2-14.
That's right.
And they get on a good day 30,000 at Candlestick, 25.
Yeah.
So you would have you'd have all your friends going to the game. Didn't matter what ticket you had, because especially in the upper deck, there were sections wide open. So we'd all get together, 12, 15 of us, and they were still selling beer in the stadium back then. They had the beer vendors. We tell the guy, hey, just sit in the aisle and we'll end up buying all your beers, and then you go get refilled and come back.
Nice.
Because you have nobody to sell to.
Yeah.
And we're like, hey, just sit here. We guarantee you'll sell out. And you won't have to move.
Yeah.
And we had like our own private beer vendor at some of the games. Not all the games, but some of them. So and it was dark because Joe Thomas, and I would have to research this, but the word was he got rid of a lot of the old game films when he came in with the Niners. He says, all that history is gone. We're building a new vibe here. And he got rid of like a lot of the 40s, 50s, 60s stuff. From what I never verified it. So that was really, really dark. And Eddie D again, I think, realized he made a mistake. And after 2 years, I think it was only 2 years.
Yeah, it was 2 years.
He said, that's it.
Yep.
And Eddie D was, Eddie D was being vilified back then for as loved as he was during the 80s. When he first came on, people were like, what the hell is this guy doing?
That's
the clip of Eddie D watching footage of OJ, and he's like, "Oh boy, that was a mistake."
Yeah, you know what I think that was, looking back on that, you guys. I actually think that was the Niners just trying to sell tickets, because, like Paul said, like I was going to games during those years with my dad, and I remember that crowds of 35,000, crowds of 40,000, like tons of empty seats. And I always felt like, and my dad was saying that. My dad was like, they probably brought OJ in just to try to sell some more tickets, because he certainly had nothing left in the tank. I mean, he was just standing there in a Niner uniform, rushing for like 30 yards a game. I mean, he wasn't doing anything,
It's classic.
No, you can tell he was all gimpy kneed and everything. His legs were gone.
Yeah.
An underrated part of the show too are all of the, I assume, blimp or helicopter shots of Candlestick.
Dude, so
that are just incredible. Like,
I know,
like viewpoints that I haven't seen before on film, and I'm just like, these are it just makes me really miss Candlestick.
I had the same reaction, man. I did. I had the same reaction. I really did.
Yeah, it just really, really made me miss it. But Paul, we were talking about this before we let you go. I have just a couple things. Paulie was talking about before this. You came on about how Jerry Rice is going to get a statue. Now, do you have any idea where that statue might go?
I have no idea.
Okay, because
I don't know.
We were hoping it's not next to Steve Young's statue, which is across the train tracks and in front of a parking garage.
In front of the parking garage, yeah.
What the hell? Yeah, I mean,
I know.
what are we doing? Like, yeah,
I
Steve, you
don't
go
know
over there.
why that's there.
Yeah, we'll put
the
something about the
most-
parking lot. Like, wait,
It's
There's
such
a rare-
an odd spot.
no, it's the worst.
Well,
It's the
remember,
worst.
it was like next to a porta potty. I was like, what?
Yeah. There's like trash cans over there. There's like beer cans lying around. It's like, where's the respect for Steve? Come on, man. Yeah.
Hey, Paul, before we let Uncle Paul go, is that
Yeah.
I got to tell people that I get a text message from Paul, I don't know, a few days ago, and it just says, Boz on vocals.
Oh,
Dwayne-
yeah.
And then Dwayne, and then it says in the Muscle Shoals horn section, and this is recorded at Muscle Shoals. Where did you come up? How did you come across that Boss Skaggs track with?
Oh,
Dwayne
Loan Me a
Allman?
Dime. It's a legendary Boss Skaggs tune. It was on his first album.
But
Nice.
did you
And 69, I think, is when that came out.
Nice.
Wow, it's
Yeah,
incredible.
the album is simply Boss Skaggs, and he recorded at Muscle Shoals, and it's got some of his original stuff. But the standout is "Loan Me a Dime." I get goosebumps thinking about it. It's one of those songs when I'm just like in a funk and I need to crank something in the car
Yeah.
and just drive around and something blaring like I'm 18 years old again.
Yeah.
That's one of the few songs I'll put on, and just it is spectacular.
It
Yeah.
really is. I listened to it as soon as you sent it to me. I'm like, Jesus.
Yeah,
this
that's
is
some good stuff. It
outstanding.
is. Yeah.
I didn't know that Boz and Dwayne Allman had,
Oh,
worked
dude,
together.
Boss Skaggs, and Paul, I know you know this because we've rapped about this over the years, but that great Allman Brothers New Year's Eve show at the Cow Palace in 1973, that's got Jerry Garcia and Boz Skaggs doing like a full set with the Allmans.
Wow.
It's amazing.
So-
Tony, you got to check that out. Yeah.
Back in the day, with that night, I forget how old I was. But I did not go to the show in '73. I think I was like 14 or 15.
Ooh.
But Tony, Uncle Jerry, my
Yes.
brother, he was going out with his buddies on New Year's Eve, and the old KSAN 95 FM,
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
one of the best radio stations that ever existed.
No question.
And they were tied into the music scene in San Francisco on a very personal level. And they would have artists stop by, and they broadcast shows all the time. Well, they were broadcasting that Allman Brothers show from the Cow Palace
Yeah.
on New Year's Eve. And Jerry said, we had the whole stereo hooked up. He said, hey, whatever you do, make sure you get this recorded. And so I put the cassettes in, and I fell asleep after midnight.
Yeah.
Right. But so they did part of the show before midnight,
Right.
and I think they did a toast at midnight, and then they took a break. And I can only assume what Greg Allman was doing during that break.
Right.
I have no idea. I can't make any accusations,
Yeah.
but apparently he was not in good enough shape to come out for the second part of the show, because they
Yep.
came out and they did instrumentals for a while.
Yep.
Right? And that's when Boz and Jerry Garcia
Yeah.
joined them.
Yeah.
And they ended up finishing the show. I think they played until 3 or 4 o'clock in the morning.
They did. They played a very long set together. And Jerry, and you're right, they do. Tony, there's like a 20-minute instrumental version of the other one with
Yes.
Jerry. Yeah, with and it's really good, man. I mean, they're flying. And then Boz comes up there and they do like a lot of blues standards. It's definitely worth checking out, Tony. It's great. It's a great San Francisco New Year's show.
Greg Allman was nowhere to be seen the second half.
No, Greg was on his back, dude. Greg was like passed out, taking a snooze in the back. All right, we got to let Paul go, Tony. So last thing, go ahead.
Paul, I'm putting you on the spot. Who wins on Sunday?
Wow.
Yeah.
You know what? I got to go with my first gut feel until I started thinking about Vrabel and Seattle. I mean, I'm going to go with the team that looks better. I had one question for you guys. There was this whole thing about the mountain lion at Pacific Heights last week or whatever that they ended up tranquilizing, and it just got me thinking about emergency response in the city for something like a mountain lion in an urban area like that.
Right.
And I don't know if it's ever occurred to you, but do you know what you should do if you see a mountain lion on the streets of, let's say in Pacific Heights of San Francisco?
What?
Run to bush and hide.
Look at this. Okay. Little San Francisco street sign humor. I like that. That's Paul Tonelli, everybody. Hey, Paul, thank you very much for the time today, man. Always great having you on. And have a great experience on Sunday, man. Really enjoy the whole thing, man. And best of luck. Yeah.
That was what is it? Paulie, do you have the rim shot on your
I
soundboard?
don't. But I love it, like push and hide. I might steal that from you. We'll spread that around into the community. Yeah.
You guys, always a pleasure to be on. I always have a great time with you guys.
Thank you, Paul. We'll talk
All right,
again.
we'll see you.
Brother. Cheers,
Paul. Tell it to Lisa. See ya.
You bet. I'll see you.
Tonelli, everybody, one of the all-time greats. You know him from Lamont and Tonelli. You know him from the PA voice at Levi Stadium. And I love that he's involved with being a spotter on Sunday. That's freaking
Yeah,
awesome,
isn't that cool?
dude. That's really cool. Tony, if I'm curt with you, it's because time's a factor.
Well, hang on, Paulie. Stand by.
Oh, yeah. It's business time.
Oh,
There we go. It's business time. Let's go. You want to give Carlos De La Fuente some love?
you're as Jack Nicholson said at the end of A Few Good Men. You're goddamn right, I do. Yeah. That's always been one of Tony and my favorite. You're goddamn right, I do. All right, Tony. Carlos De La
Well,
Fuente.
hold on. Let's get into the calculator, Paulie, if you don't mind. I want to get us.
I would
into the
almost
calculator.
demand it. Yeah, I would demand it. Thank you very much. Where
Into
we
the
belong,
calculator we go.
either in the house window or calculator, the oven, wherever you want to put us, just make it happen. All right, Creative Tony. Losty, everybody's favorite dude, Carlos De La Fuente. And by the way, you want to talk hardcore, no nonsense Niner fans?
Oh.
Talk to Losty. He don't take any guff. Paul, Carlos, he don't want to hear it. You know what I mean? He doesn't want to hear about this draft pick didn't work or, Bosa got hurt. You don't want to hear it. He wants rings. And I feel you, Losty. I am with you, man. Carlos at Flex Funding is one of our great money guys. He can take care of all your financial needs, private money loans. He can draw money from your mortgage with a HELOC loan. And again, it's just great to have a financial advisor in our corner like this. It's great to have a couple of them because Dan does his own thing, and we'll talk about that tomorrow. But Flex Funding, I mean, listen, first of all, Carlos is a San Francisco guy who loves and cares about San Francisco. He's a mortgage broker, private money lender, as I said. And I know a lot. Listen, times are not great out there, man. People are having a hard time in 2026. The cost of everything is up. And it can get a little overwhelming. I do understand that. I might be in the same boat. You know what I mean? So you look around and you're like, God, how am I going to do this? How am I going to take care of my overhead? And the prices of everything are skyrocketing. This is when you want to have a conversation with Carlos De La Fuente, 925-250-4894. And by all means, talk Niners with him. He'll be happy to do that. Talk Niners, talk Giants. But when it comes down to talking business, he is all business. And he has helped out so many people from the PMP Familia already, which really, hey, Red Jet Shell, how you doing today? Good to see you. But Carlos is not going to, what's the word I'm looking for? He's not going to misadvise you. That's probably not a word, but he's not going to steer you into an area that's going to wind up hurting you, or he's not going to steer you or push you into an area where you're uncomfortable or might wind up getting yourself in trouble down the road and putting yourself in a less advantageous position. He's all about the advantage. He's all about helping you out. And again, no appraisal fees, no escrow fees, no title fees. There's no hidden fees of any kind. You're not going to get whacked with that kind of stuff with Carlos. It's all above boards. He's certified. He's knowledgeable. He knows what the hell he's talking about. And if you are struggling right now, talk to Carlos, man. He'll give you a whole new lease on life. He really will, because there are probably a lot of things at your disposal in terms of how to get some money in your pocket that you don't even know about. And don't feel bad, because that's what Carlos does. So again, reach out to Carlos, 925-250-4894, Tony, and just start the dialogue with Carlos and let him go to work for you.
Absolutely, Paulie. Hashtag one stop shop is what we like to refer to Carlos, is because he can do most loans. And also, don't sleep on the personal loans that he can help you out with, between $50,000 up to $500,000 if you're looking for a personal loan. So there are many options and many reasons to get in touch with Carlos De La Fuente. And whether it's
I was not laughing at you, Tony. I saw a comment. Sorry, go ahead.
No, we'll get to that comment in a second. But the HELOCs, the reverse mortgages, the if you're a 1099, there might be a loan out there for you as well. VA loans, Alt-A loans, all these things you can talk to Carlos De La Fuente about. And then here's a couple of reviews I just stumbled upon just reading about Carlos. This is from Ronnie, and he says, Carlos is a great guy. Working with Carlos has been a great experience, and I look forward to working with Carlos for years to come.
Good.
Right? That's the relationship that Carlos sets up. It's that these people look forward to working with him again and feel comfortable working with him again. And then also, this is from Sylvain, a person named Sylvain. He says, Carlos is an eloquent, knowledgeable mortgage professional, reliable, sincere, direct, and to the point. And I thought that was a good review because I really think that explains Carlos, because he's not going to waste your time.
No.
If he can't do something for you, he's going to tell you. He's not going to try and twist something into, he's going to work with you, and he wants to work with you. But if it's not there, he's not going to BS you. It's the whole thing that we started from day one talking about Carlos is trust Carlos, trust Carlos. So we love Carlos. We love having him as a partner, and we love his passion. I think that what that review could have also said is that Carlos is a passionate dude. And so I love the passion of a Carlos de la Fuente. And I also know that he loves this, Paulie. So we can stand by just for a moment, because I think everybody needs to just get the los right now.
Give us the los. 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 What those would you like?
By the way, hey, okay, you want the guitar? Wow, 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 wow. Whoa, whoa, wow, wow.
Give us the los.
Okay. Stop. You guys stop. So here's what's going to be funny. Can you guys imagine if we get denied credentials and then it's like, well, why not? Well, because we were doing the Los Jam and we missed our meeting. I hope you guys don't mind. All right, we really do have to go, you guys. We love Robot Centaur. We love Rags. Rags, be good in New Jersey, okay? Noemi, Red Jet Shell, Arkansas, Dave, Los D, the main man. By the way, Dom with a pretty funny comment. We were saying like Los D won't steer you in the wrong direction. Dom goes, it's not going to be like in Goodfellas at the end where De Niro's telling Dr. Melfi, yeah, just go down the street, go into the alley there. Yeah, no, all the way in the back. Yeah, go in there. Remember that? All those guys are in there. She's like, no, I got to go. But anyway, no, we're not going to do that. Los is not going to do that. Don't even worry about it. So thank you, Los D, for all you do, brother. You're a great guy.
Yes.
We thank you for the support, man. We wouldn't be here without you. Tony, I think that's it. We better get the hell out of here. Hey, real quick. Special announcement tomorrow, special time. Creative Tony's got big doings, and we got to do the show at 4:20 tomorrow. So make sure you're with us. 4:20. You know what that means? That's our little code word. You want to celebrate and have a good time with us? Please do. We plan on being a Radio Row unless we screw that up on Thursday, and we look forward to that experience as well. So Tony, take us home, and thank you guys for tuning in. We'll see you tomorrow at 4:20.
At 4:20, a couple orders of business. I'm just mentioning this. Tomorrow's my son's birthday, so thank you for those of you who've already said happy birthday to Dom. And we're doing Cooperstown in July. If you want a Super Bowl square, we're doing Super Bowl squares as a fundraiser for Dom. So if you want to, just email pauliespod@gmail.com, and I'll send you the link to sign up for some squares. Thank you to those. Really thank you very much to those who've already signed up for squares. Really appreciate that. And then lastly, Paulie, out of the gates just quickly, Escobar, don't forget that it's the size of a toddler. I don't know what it is the size of a toddler, but he did that back at 12:41. So I don't know what we were talking about, but I want to honor that. And Greg, real quick, Stinky Badges, we need a song created from pushing the buttons on the calculator in animation.
You got that, Tony? Get that, make that happen. Get to work, okay?
Totally.
Yeah.
Thank you all as usual. Tomorrow, 4:20, and we're gonna play the freaking Ozzy Osbourne tribute at some point tomorrow.
I got so much stuff in bookmarks, it's bursting at the seams, Tony. But again, there's another day tomorrow, so we'll get there tomorrow.
Yes, and thank you to my Uncle Paul Tonelli for coming on today, and thank you to Mark Canizaro for coming on yesterday. Also, we're trying to get Rita Oak on the show. I don't know if it's going to happen or not, but we had Rita Oak on earlier. We're trying to get her on again, so see if we can do that, or maybe we'll get her on at Radio Row on Thursday. Who knows? Who knows if she's cruising around? But in the meantime, Paulie, stand by.
Business hours are over, baby. It's business now. It's business time.
All right, y'all. Have a great Tuesday. Watch the Warriors tonight. Is this Draymond's last stand? I don't know. I hope not, but we're going to watch and we're going to see. So everybody have a great Tuesday. We see you tomorrow at 4:20, y'all. Cheers.
Peace, y'all.